Hello everyone, Amod here from the Target Common YouTube channel, and today we are going to learn another concept of Java Stream API. Not another concept but another video in this playlist. So in last video I have covered the concept of interface in Java, and these concepts are necessary or important to understand some deep concepts or like lambda functions, lambda expression, and how can you use that in stream methods and all. Okay, but before that we need to understand interface, we need to understand what is functional interface. So there are some tiny concepts which we actually require to understand and use it better in stream APIs. Okay, so in this video we are going to learn about anonymous inner class. Okay, it's you may not understand what is the actual use while writing some stream API methods and all, but you'll understand in upcoming videos. But as in this video we are going to learn about anonymous inner class. Okay, so let's go to notepad plus plus. And what is meaning of anonymous? Like simple English meaning. Anonymous means something who has no name. Okay. So here anonymous inner class or anonymous class, as of now we can say that a class without any name. Okay. That is called anonymous class. Now what is anonymous class and what is its properties and how do you use it and how do you create it and why do we create it? Okay, we'll do some examples and then we'll understand what is it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump to my Eclipse and I will create a class called uh, I will create the class called car. Okay, simple. And in this car I'm going to add one method. Okay, maybe horn. Okay, and inside this I will put something like pp. Okay, pp like normal car horn, right? So this is simple class called car and we have one method called horn and I've given some implementation to it. But suppose you you want this method horn but you want some different implementation, right? That is possible, right? And how can we achieve that one? Either you can go and create a new class or you can override. Okay, you can override the behavior. So for that what we do actually, we go and let me create a new class called my personal car. Okay, I created one new class called my personal car, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to extend it. Extend what? Car class. Okay, so I've created a new class and just simply extending the class called car. Now I don't want, I use this, I want this method but I don't want this implementation. Okay, means it's like if you buy a flat, right, and if everything is organized there, but suppose you don't want that organization, that arrangement you don't want. Okay, so what you're going to do, you want one empty room and you are going to rearrange everything, okay, as per your need, as per your requirements. So same thing here, I'm not going to use this implementation but I'm going to override the behavior. So for that what I need to do, public means same syntax, let me copy it from here. Okay, same syntax, let me copy and paste it here, and instead of p it will do po. Okay, simply I have changed the behavior of this method. Let me create a main method. Okay, and I will create an object of my personal car. Okay, and if I call mp dot horn, right, so what it should print, p or po? Let me run and show you what is the output. Okay, you can see it is printing po, because we are overriding the behavior here, right, for this particular class. And when I am creating an object of it, okay, I am creating an object of this class, right, child class, which we can say. So that's why it is overriding it. But suppose if I create an object of car class itself, okay, see, I am creating an object of car class itself, okay, and if I call the horn method here, what going to happen? What should it print? This is printing po. What it should print? Let me run and show you what it print. Any guess? Yeah, it should print p, right? Because for this class called car, and I am creating an object of it. It doesn't matter where I am creating. I am creating inside this my personal car, but I am creating an object of this one. So it is not aware what is my personal car and what method they are overriding. Just it will see what is inside this car. Okay, and we have horn method there, so that's why it is calling that implementation. Okay, what was the advantage? If you want to change anyone, go and change it and call it whatever way you want. Okay, but it's not changing the default one. Okay, for the actual class, you are overriding it and you are using it. Okay, this is like simple Java concept where we are overriding a method after extending a class. Now let's rewrite the same thing here, not rewrite the same thing different way. If you see here, this I have written my personal car and I implemented it. I overwritten the method. Some other guy, they also want to write their own thing, right? They want to give some different implementation. It's possible. So suppose if there are 10 developers, so they are going to get 10 classes, 10 different classes to override the method as per their need, right? And if you see, so it's like individual thing, right? No one is going to use my class, okay, because this is my implementation in this class. No one is going to use my class. Okay, if we come into some situation where if you are overriding something and you are going to use only to yourself, okay, then we can, instead of creating a new class, we can use something called anonymous class. Okay, let me show you how. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to extend this car anymore. Okay, and I will just simply comment this method as of now. Okay, and I will comment this as well. Okay, so what I am going to do here, I will create an object of the first parent car, that is called car. Okay, so this way we create an object, or let me create a proper object, car c equal to new car, right? If I call the method c dot horn, so we know that this will call the method, the implementation defined in class called car. But here I don't want, I want a new implementation, and so for that I need to override this method. Okay, but for that whatever we learn the concept like extending and then overriding, that we are not going to do. We want some different way, that is called anonymous class. So for that, instead of putting the semicolon, remove the semicolon, put the open and curly braces. Okay, and inside this you can have this method defined. So let me uncomment first, and then let me cut and paste it here. Okay, so what I did here, I simply created an object. How do you create an object? Same thing, if car C equal to new car, and instead of passing the semicolon, I just put the opening and closing braces. This is like normal we create a method kind of thing, right? And inside this I am defining, or I am not defining, I am overriding the method called horn, which is coming from my car class. Okay, you, if you want, you can write the annotation override as well. Okay, and since this is happening in all one line, all one expression, so here to put semicolon, because expression should be ended with semicolon. So so what I did, actually I created a class, okay, anonymously, and I overridden the method as well. Okay, I am not getting any separate class to override the behavior. Then if I call c dot horn, what will happen? It will run the overridden method. Okay, let me run it. Okay, you can see it's printing. So in this way you can override the method multiple times. I am going to C1, and this time it will do p or something po, right? So if I do C1 dot horn, it is going to use the second implementation, right? So I'm not going to get multiple classes. Okay, in one classes only we are overriding and we are using it. So if you have some scenario where you are not going to use it further, you can use this anonymous class concept, and you can define, you can override the method and you can use it. Okay, and this concept is really important when we have abstract classes and interfaces, right? And their interfaces also don't have implementation, right? So for that we need to implement that interface in a class, and then we have to give the body and all, right, before we use it. So same thing we actually extensively use in our lambda expressions that we'll see in upcoming videos. But this is an important concept in which I explained how you can use the anonymous class to override the method and call it. Okay, now let's go and read some definition. So we are clear, right? A class without name. Here I created one class called my personal car, and then I was extending. Then I was creating an object of it, right? That my parent class is my personal car was a class, and for that I need to create an object to call its overwritten method. Okay, but now here this is actually one class itself, right? But without any name. You cannot create an object of this class any number of times. It is only one. You need to declare and initialize this anonymous class in single expression. Okay, and you cannot create multiple instances of it. So that is restriction. That is the only thing, because if it is one off, I don't want to use it at multiple places or other things also, right? You can use it. Okay, and it's not like that you cannot call this c dot horn again, right? Because you are storing the reference, right, in the same type. So if you run it, it will obviously, you can call it twice. Okay, if you don't want to store it and you want just one thing, so you can remove that part also, and you can directly call the method. Okay, means I will simply comment this one, and I am not going to store this in any variable. Okay, and I can directly use call. You can see I am getting the method horn, right? It is, so this is one of use. This we are not storing the reference, so we cannot use it again. This is one off. Okay, we can see it's running fine. So what are some different points? Since they do not have any name, so we cannot create an object or instantiate it like normal class, right? Clear? We need to declare and instantiate an anonymous class in single expression. Single expression means this one, right? Single expression here. So since any expression needs to be end with semicolon, so we are putting the semicolon, Java rule. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So I think I covered the basic concept of anonymous in a class, and let's see some important concepts or points about anonymous class again. So since it is one, we cannot create the object of anonymous class anytime, right? Anytime means not every time. We don't have options to create it, like simple normal classes, right? So there's no meaning of constructor here, because you need to declare an instance here at the same time. Okay, so there's no meaning of constructor. An anonymous class can extend one class or implement one interface. This is important point, because here we cannot do actually. If you have, see, we know that one class can extend one class, one another class, and but it can implement multiple interfaces. That is not possible with the anonymous class. Okay, that obviously that is not possible. Okay, now, okay, third point is very important. Local variables reference from an inner class must be final or effectively final. This you may not understand now, but this is really important concept when we use the lambda functions, lambda expressions in the Java stream methods. And believe me, you'll face this issue. So that's why I'm trying to give you basic hint or basic concept about this statement here. So what is happening here? So suppose I am going to use string, or let me put int count equal to 10. Okay, and what I'm going to do here, I am going to use I simply going to add this count. Okay, so I declared one variable. Okay, and that variable I'm printing it here. So you need to notice one thing. This is the block, right? This is the block. This count is inside this block only, and this statement is also in the same block. So I am able to access this count inside here, right? So let me run this and show you whether it's prints the count or not. Okay, we can see it is printing 10. Okay, if you want a space, I can give you space here so that you can understand the output easily. But if I do count, okay, count equal to 11, what I did, I declared and I initialized a variable here, right, called count, and I gave the 10. Again, I did count equal to 11. Okay, I can reinitialize the value, I can reassign a value to variable. So I assigned the variable to it. But again, we see one error here. What it is saying that if you mouse over on it, like local variable count defined in an enclosing scope must be final or effectively final. Okay, the same line which I just show you on Notepad++. This is the same line. The concept says that if you want to use any variable inside this, right, in the anonymous class, that must be final or effectively final. Okay, final or effectively final. So means if you're commenting this line, okay, and you are using it, if you're using it, this means this is final. You are assigning the value one time only. Okay, that is the final one. That's why we are not changing it anywhere. Okay, that's why it is considered as effectively final. Okay, so you can ask me what will happen if I increase the count here. I will put count equal to 11. Okay, count equal to 11. So what is saying that Again, same thing, local variable count defined in any enclosing scope must be final or effectively final. Means either outside of anonymous class or inside. You cannot reassign the value. It should be final or effectively final. Effectively final means you cannot do like this one. If you okay, effectively final means if I write it final int, okay, this is called final variable. Okay, if you try to assign a new value to it, it will give you an error because we cannot reassign. Okay, we cannot assign the value again, right, to final variable. That's why it's called final variable. Okay, that is the final property. Effectively final means if I don't put the final keyword, okay, but if I just simply keep it like this, so this is called effectively final because I'm not going to change the value of count anywhere again. Okay, that's why it's called effectively final. Okay, so these are the some concepts about anonymous class. There's some different points as well. Okay, so that we can cover in some different videos, but this concept whatever I explained in this video are really important to understand functional interface and lambda expressions and also stream APIs. Okay, so if you have any doubt, please comment on this video. If you really like my videos or concept, please like, subscribe and share with others. Thank you everyone.